Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a few special guests today. Our first guest is a man that thinks American colonies should be a collection of independent states. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Adams.
You suck!
Alright, well thanks for making it onto the studio today, John.
Glad to be here.
So John, as a colonist, how do you feel about independence?
See, that's a tricky question. I still feel very torn between independence for America and staying loyal to the crown.
Well, why is that?
Well, the loyalty to Britain we once had is somewhat diminished due to our tax increases with the Stamp and Sugar Act as well as the Boston Massacre.
The Stamp and Sugar Act were put in place because of Britain's economic state after the French and Indian War, in which Britain gave more land to the West. And the Boston Massacre was brought up upon the colonists due to their drunken rioting and harassment to British soldiers.
Well, yes, the massacre was provoked.
So you admit that Boston Massacre was caused by the colonists, and while we're on the subject, it's not also true that the colonists have tarred and feathered multiple tax collectors.
Not to the extent most of the British people believe.
But it does happen.
Yes.
Your cousin, I believe, was in that riot, was he not?
He was.
So your cousin, in the definition of the word, is a terrorist.
Well, I wouldn't call him a terrorist.
Does he not invoke terror by bombarding British soldiers and going against the British crown?
Well, yes, but he does it all in the name of unjust taxation.
Back to the subject of taxing. Why do you believe colonists are exempt from paying taxes like any other Englishman?
Well, I feel this is a British problem and Britain should solve it by itself.
Britain helped you rid a possible threat like France, and you gave new lands to settle after the level of debt dropped to a point of economic stability in Britain. And you think you don't need to help with Britain's economy?
Well...
Sorry, Jan. That's all the time we have. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Adams.
Boo!
Our second guest, likely to have a different opinion, Mr. Redcoat.
Boo! Thank you for having me.
So, Mr. Redcoat, what would you say your opinion on the colonial independence is?
Honestly, I couldn't care less about whether our colonists have their independence or not. I'm just here to get my monthly pay.
So really all you're fighting for is money?
That would be correct, yep.
Yes. So, explain to me what would happen if the colonists won the war tomorrow.
Well, I presume I would just sail back to my home in England, live the way I did before coming to this godforsaken place.
Right, well, that's all the time we have. Thanks for coming today, Mr. Redcoat.
Pleasure being here.